And the Absa Group has announced its physical expansion into the People's Republic of China with the opening of a new subsidiary in Beijing. Arrie Rautenbach, the group CEO at the Absa Group, said the announcement reinforces the bank's ambition to grow its international strategy, particularly as China is such a strategically important market for Africa. We are now joined by the Absa head of China Corridor, and that's Kai Zhu for more. Kai, thank you very much. Kai, rather. Sorry about that. Thank you very much for joining us, Kai. This is a non-banking subsidiary for the Absa Group in Beijing, and it's quite an important one. But what does it mean that it's a non-banking subsidiary?
Thanks for having me, and good afternoon all. So the non-banking subsidiary means that we are not gonna set up a bank which would be offering banking products for domestic Chinese clients in China, but the non-banking subsidiary still allows us to have a small office in Beijing with employees focusing on the HQ relationship with the Chinese-based clients to assist them and assist Absa in Africa. Eventually, all the deals would be booked in Africa, in which Absa has a banking license.
So this has got also some implications, good ones, positive ones for the business clients who are in other markets that Absa serves, including those here in South Africa and the rest of Africa.
Yes, correct. Given, if we are a leading Pan-Africa bank and a lot of the clients are in various important sectors in Africa, and for the past 14 consecutive years, China has remained as Africa's biggest trade partner. So definitely it's good news for our Chinese clients and also good news for our African local clients, so that we can be the bridge to facilitate the trade and investment flows between China into Africa.
Let's talk about the projects that you are mostly interested in as a bank. There is a lot happening in the green energy space, but the projects that excite you about this particular expansion, seeing that you will make it the access to that market and the African market the other way easier for both clientele.
Yes, correct. If we look at our clientele, we do see a big potential in the energy, mainly in the renewable. And Absa has firm commitment and is a leading bank of providing funding for renewable energy projects. And we are also seeing the Chinese are gradually setting up local manufacturing base in Africa. For example, one of the leading one is setting up manufacturing bases, in South Africa as an auto manufacturer. Those would help with a bit of the localization and the skills transfer. And then we also see a key potential for clients in the digital or telecommunication, as we see the Africa's population would be doubled by 2050 with the rising population, and then the young population, the need for digital access is also there, and we are seeing the Chinese are doing quite a good job of helping the African telecommunication clients in building their infrastructure network.
Kai, the China-Africa investment relationship is one that has flourished over the past 3 decades, in particular when it comes to bilateral trade. How do you see this particular partnership? Because you are not the only South African bank with a presence on the continent that has a presence also in China. Standard Bank is also there, and as we know, they are the biggest bank by market capitalization. How do you see that particular relationship growing as far as those bilateral relationships and your role in it?
So let me quote one of our honorable guests, that setting up by Absa in China at this time is very important and strategic, given last year it was announced that the China-South Africa cooperation is entering into the golden area. And then in this Absa setup in China is actually one of the major, the first, and also the first achievement while the China-South Africa relationship enters into the golden area. And then also this is Absa setup in China is also considered as a vote of confidence for China's economy and China's ongoing commitment to our African continent. So it's very important. We know we have our peers in there, but that also means we would be working even harder to try to bring values to our clients in China and in Africa so that we can compete and win.
It certainly seems to make a business sense to venture into that particular market because of the economic growth still above 5%, while inflation is 0.2% in China, and no interest rate increases in the past 3 years. Certainly makes for a good decision to actually expand into that particular region. Kai Zhu is the head of the China corridor at Absa. Thank you very much for your time.